Have you recently broken up with someone and struggling through it? Well, today we're going to give you some tips and advice that's going to get you through the breakup. You don't want to miss this one. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome. I think this is going to be a really hot show. You can't see Shireen over there, but she's hitting Sam. They're laughing already. I've not even introduced them and they're already badly misbehaving, right? I don't think you guys deserve an introduction. No, I'm joking. As you know, I'm here with Sam, Shireen and MJ. Hi ladies.
Hello.
Do you know what? It seems like ages since I've been on the show.
It's because it's been ages.
Maybe I've blocked out my last performance, which was I know, tell me about it. So I'm in a different seat today. And as I said in the intro, today we are talking breakups and how to get over them. So there's a few sort of funny sides to it, but as we know, and we've all had a broken heart, it's not so funny, is it? It's really, really painful. Ladies, I want you to confess. Now, Sam, I'm sure you've got a story to tell.
Yeah.
Any stories about, she's like, yeah. Any stories about breakups that you want to share with our viewers?
I think the worst, I mean, the viewers may know my story already. I think my worst breakup and the result of my worst breakup was when I actually abused the girl who had took my man. So,
what do you mean abuse, Sam?
I actually assaulted the lovely, absolutely lovely young lady. I assaulted her.
Now, can I just say that Sam is now a reformed character?
I am indeed.
So she wouldn't do that nowadays.
I
That
would
was
not.
very much in the past, wasn't it?
Very, very much in the past. And I don't recommend any viewers to do any form of abuse after a breakup.
But you know what I find, didn't you say you did it to the woman? But you were
Yeah.
in the relationship with the woman. This is like the whole Angelina thing, right?
Yeah,
And
but
Brad.
it was one of those situations, Jen, where the woman was actually mocking me with another friend, and I kind of just lost it.
Yeah, and what did you do?
I actually jumped out my car, left my car in the middle of the road, and attacked her.
Yeah.
I attacked her, and she ended up covered with blood. I was brought to the police came to my home, and I was taken to the station. So it was not very, don't recommend it.
It showed you, like, you know.
Not a good example. Don't take my tips.
Don't take my tips. Shireen, I don't know if you can top that.
I can't.
Anything that you've done, like the worst thing you've done after a breakup.
The thing is, I've only ever had one breakup in life, and that was a very devastating breakup. And what I did everything to get back with the person. But when I'm telling you everything, always texting, always calling. I even went to his house because he moved, and I found out where he was, and I went and I begged him, and then I said, please come back to me, please come to me. And then I went to his workplace and did the same thing. Even though I'm saying it, I can't even believe I did it, but I was really determined that I just can't be broken up from this person. I just can't be away from this person.
Wow.
Gosh,
You were addicted to it.
Well, he was my husband at the time.
Well,
so
yeah, you gave a good fight, didn't you?
Gave a good fight indeed. But
I think
nearly lost my identity in it though.
I think if it was a boyfriend, I'd just be like, gosh, Shireen, I mean, get a life. But it was a husband.
You've got to give a fight for your husband.
And you have that hope, don't you, that you know that he might take you back,
Yeah,
right?
indeed.
Yeah, especially if it ends unnaturally. What about you, MJ? I
Nothing
can't see MJ doing anything.
Nothing
evil
compared
after
to
a
these girls.
Nothing.
She's like a good girl.
Nothing. I think the only thing I did, I remember when I had my first serious crush and the guy that I had my proper kiss, you know?
Yeah.
So after that, I thought things were going somewhere,
Yeah.
but they didn't. So I used to call his workplace just to hear his voice, and then I would switch off.
Oh, you love Struck.
Oh, that's so sweet,
love
Mary
struck.
Jo. Just to hear his voice
Just
and
to
hang
hear
up.
his, and I hung up.
Gosh, that's like prolonging the torment though, isn't it?
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But he was my first crush, my
Yeah.
first love, you know.
Yeah.
And he was much older than me as well. I think that was the problem, probably.
So you were, you kind of addicted to him as well.
Yeah.
Gosh, what is it with we women? Anyway, before we go on, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to some celebrity breakups because we like that on this show. Shereen, I think you've got a few stories for us.
I don't have stories. I have a game that we're going to play together.
We love a
Games,
game.
love
We have our DKW game with our red
it.
and green cards.
Yeah,
So you
got
can play at
mine.
home. You can play at home as well with us. And what it is, it's called the reason not to break up game. So if you believe that this celebrity couple, it was the right reason they should have broken up, then you're going to hold up your green card. If you feel that it is not a good reason, the breakup, you will hold up your red card. Are you ladies ready?
We are.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know what? I've been trying to not expose it, but Sandra, she's literally on the floor at the moment.
Hand you your cards.
Sandra's
Thank you,
DKW angel. She's amazing. She is.
You know what? I was trying to say, come on. I just thought, you know what? At the end of the day, you all know us here on DKW. We're not perfect. No, I'm joking.
You do see people crawling along the floor.
All right. Ready. We have scenario number 1. Jennifer Lawrence and Nicholas Hoult. Jennifer Lawrence and Nicholas Hoult are said to have split after 2 years of dating. Insiders reveal the reason the pair split was because they grew apart. In Touch magazine claims Lawrence and the Battle Boy star Hoult remained friends. The pair met on the set of X-Men in 2010 and have been open about their relationship ever since. So what do you reckon, ladies? Growing apart, is it giving up too easily? Or shouldn't you have tried to, work at growing closer? Red card, it's a bad reason. Green card, it's a good reason. What do you guys reckon?
They were just dating.
They were just dating for 2 years, isn't it?
Just
Lift
dating.
it up, lift it up before you say
If it's
anything.
good
Lift
reason or
up
bad
your
reason.
cards. Lift up your cards, let the viewers see.
I'm not sure.
That's not an option,
What was
Gemma.
it? My red card is for...
Don't think it's a good reason. Don't reckon it's a good reason. Green card,
It's a good
it's
reason.
a good reason.
Good reason.
At the end of the day, at least he's honest. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even know they were dating, so they were really growing apart.
Yeah, and if they're growing apart, then they're not meant to be, are
Yeah.
they?
Exactly. He wants to focus on his career.
There is
He wants
no
to focus on his
effort.
career. I think at least, he was honest.
I'm telling you.
Good reason.
Growing apart. But what are the reasons that you grow apart in a relationship? I think that's what needs to be established here, isn't it? Because you can make it, especially guys, sometimes they give that excuse, oh no,
Yeah.
we're just growing apart, we don't, match anymore.
Yeah.
Or is it because you just want to find someone else? Or kind of like, I've spent my time with you, it's going to get a little bit boring, let me try that lovely girl down the road.
But then it says here about he has no need to want other children because he's got one already, no?
Oh no, that's not him, Gemma.
Oh, was that
That's not
someone else?
That's not his scenario.
Oops.
All right, next.
Let's go to the scenario she's talking about.
That just proved my point completely out. I was like, I was going to make a good point there, but no, I had no idea.
You might be able to use it later. All right, so story number 2. Rachel McAdams and Michael Sheen. Michael Sheen split up with fellow actress Rachel McAdams. She was the one that was in that. Oh yeah, there
Notebook.
she is. Yeah, Notebook.
Yeah.
After more than 2 years together, so it's 2 years again. The couple met while filming the Woody Allen film Midnight in Paris, and their relationship grew from there. According to an insider source, the Midnight in Paris lovers split because Michael couldn't fully commit to Rachel in the way of settling down, saying, Rachel wants to settle down and is dreaming of having a family. Michael always seemed content with their relationship since he already had a daughter with Lily, 14 with Kate Beckinsale, that one from... what's it called?
The vampire
the
movie
vampire
there,
one,
yeah.
He feels no need to have more children. He wants to focus on his career. Is it a green card? Is it a red card?
Oh, no, sorry,
What do you
it's a
I
guys
would
think?
say a lucky escape
Yeah.
for her.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, green. It's a good reason. Sorry, I got confused with red and green today. It's a
Lucky
little bit
escape
confusing.
girl.
Why'd you say that then, Sam?
She might as well, if he's not going to commit to her and she's going to give it all, there's just no point.
No.
This is it.
I mean,
you
all the
know.
signs are there. He doesn't want more children. He thinks, I've got already. Move on, girl. Move on.
I
Move on.
actually thought
Good for you.
when they got together, I was like, this is such a weird couple.
A weird couple, yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
never,
didn't even suit,
never
did they?
thought
They
that.
don't suit.
Yeah, and this was like one of those couples that I was like, really?
They look
Yeah.
odd.
They
look
look
weird
odd.
together.
They look odd
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I think at least he didn't string along and say, "Oh,
Yeah.
we'll have kids soon, we'll have it soon," and never, you know, at least, at least he was honest.
Yeah, she's looking for commitment and happiness.
I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, I hate to agree with you guys because, you know, I like to be a little bit controversial. But it was good that he was honest, and because a lot of people in relationships, they do just tag along in the relationship.
Yeah.
They have feelings for the person. They keep the relationship going,
Yeah.
and you know, in the end, it's not gonna, nothing's going to come of it because your vision is different.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he was mature enough to say, look, to be honest with you, our goals are different. Let's end it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, very good. All right then, last one. Michelle Williams and Jason Segel. So Michelle Williams and Jason Segel have called it quits. He was so good with her daughter, with Heath Ledger, Matilda, and a ring and a wedding were expected, but it was not to be. She cares a great deal for Jason, but is not ready to make a commitment, a source apparently close to Michelle told People. Maybe if they were together day to day, she would have more confidence in the future, but not at this time. Yes, it sounds like this is another breakup we can blame on long distance. Jason never got rid of his place in LA, and Michelle's life with Matilda was one that has been always in New York, a second source told People. While Jason made every effort to make them a priority in his life, they were not top priority. He still couldn't drop everything and leave his life and career in LA. So,
Sam's been showing that
long
red card for
distance
ages.
relationship in the first place? Is it, you know, why were they not willing to make it work? Good reason or not, red or green? Why is that then, Sam? Why do you say it's a green card?
Because I just think I think they had chemistry there. They should have pushed it. She should have held on, fought for him, I think.
But one doesn't want to move to LA. The other
no
one doesn't want to move
sacrifice. They
to
should
New
have-
York. So, you know, they cannot live apart.
And I think if there's no sacrifice in this small thing, then how are you going to sacrifice in the other stuff? You know what? It's over. It's not meant to be.
Give it a go. Give it a go. I think they both could have done. I think it could have happened.
No.
So you're a red card and
Yeah.
you are green.
Green.
Green. You
They
think that
disagree
they should have
with
worked
me.
it out or not?
No, we think
No,
that it
I
was
think
a
it's a good
reason
reason to break
but
up.
They
Okay.
shouldn't be together.
No.
All right, great.
If
they're
there
not-
is no sacrifice, like
They're not willing to move home, then forget it. What are you willing to do
But
then?
then again, you know, it's a big decision because she has
Yeah.
a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the child
the
got to
thing.
know him.
I know, but you know, still.
I think
She-
that
it's a
both
big
parties
decision
could have
to-
made a bit more effort.
Exactly.
To break up so easy just because of that.
But then I
distance.
just think to
And
break
if
up,
they don't
I
want
think,
to.
exactly. I think if you're not prepared to do
To do that
then there's
sacrifice.
some deeper issues there. If
Yeah.
you're not prepared to
It means
just
you're not
move
really that
home,
into the
you're not-
person.
You know what? Actually, I'm not prepared to move home.
I'm
so
just
forget
really
it.
not
Yeah.
that
Okay,
into
well,
you.
yeah, I'm not that into you.
After all, it's the same country, you know. It's not like gonna move.
And they've got money.
And they've got money.
Yeah.
And you can just
They've
pick
got
up a
money,
plane and
exactly
travel.
why they could have given it a couple more years just to see.
You could just jump on a plane,
But then
and move on. Like, you know, I see the Kardashians do it all the time. She'll
Yeah.
just get a plane to Miami. She'll just get a plane
Yeah.
to New York.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly,
easy
they have
when
money.
you've got money. They
And
weren't
it's
prepared.
like this: if one lives in one city, the other one in the other city, and still try to work it out, it will happen. The problem that happened with the first couple just grow apart,
Yeah.
and then the child will be involved longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good decision.
Well, anyway, I think it's time for a break. Let's disagree to disagree. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the 10 things not to do after a breakup. And we've got survivor Candice Johnson, who's going to be sharing her amazing breakup story and how she came over it. Back.
So much more than I was wishing for. It's simply wonderful. Simply wonderful.
Want an amazing way to treat dry, irritated eyes without drops? Help restore their natural moisture balance with Optrex Actimist Eye Spray.
Dettol believes healthy homes are happy homes. That's why we've created the no-touch hand wash system. It automatically dispenses soap that kills 99.9% of bacteria. With Dettol, a healthy hand washing routine is automatic all over your home. For healthy tips and more, visit dettol.co.uk/Mission for Health.
Airwick's new generation of aerosols don't use artificial chemicals to release their fragrance. They are powered by 100% natural, fresh air to brighten your world with a fresher, cleaner fragrance experience. Something in the Airwick.
A plaster for mouth ulcers? Discover new Bonjela Complete Plus, an advanced complete treatment that forms a protective layer, like a plaster, soothes pain, aids healing, and lasts for up to 4 hours. Bonjela Complete Plus, our most complete treatment ever.
Let's face it, everyone who uses your loo is secretly judging it. So don't let your Rimblocks germy cage lower your score. For up to 1,000 flushes, Harpic Hygienic helps keep your loo smelling fresh and looking like new. Harpic Hygienic, like a new loo every time.
No two stains are the same, but they're all washed in the same way, which can leave dishes dirty. New Finish Quantum has unique cleansing microbeads that target even the toughest stains, leaving a flawless shine. Try Quantum with targeted cleaning. Finish the diamond standard. Test it for yourself. Take the Quantum Challenge. See the difference, or it's free.
With every wash, more and more limescale attacks your machine, which can ultimately lead to a breakdown. Use Calgon Gel in every wash. Its fast-acting formula works on all your machine's vital parts, protecting them from the damage of limescale to keep your machine working at its best. And a cleaner washing machine means better results. Leading brands recommend Calgon.
Washing machines live longer with Calgon.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about the breakup, and now we have Candice Johnson with us, and she's going to be telling us about her breakup. Hi, Candice. Welcome. Hi, it's nice to have you on DKW.
Thank you for having me.
You've not been on before, have you?
No, never.
Now, you don't need to be nervous with us. We're all friends and
We'll
very
look after
friendly.
you.
Yeah, we'll look after you, exactly. So, Candice, you know, all jokes aside, I know that you're here to speak about something which you went through, which was very painful. You know, and it was a breakup that you went through. How could you just, without going into too many details, could you just tell us first of all about the relationship, how you met him, and so on?
Well, I met him. How can I say, through work, different kind of things that we were doing. I kind of got to know him, and just through basically a mutual friend, and he was very nice. And we just started talking from there. A friend introduced us, and then it just clicked in the beginning. Everything was perfect. It was like a perfect relationship, put it that way. Yeah. And then, you know, we started getting to know each other. We had nothing in common, but then that really helped us because it made us kind of see differences in each other, and it made us more attracted to each other because I wanted to find out more about him. Different countries, different backgrounds, everything, different cultures. So it was really exciting for me and for him as well.
It was exciting, and as time went by, you kind of thought, this is the one, right?
Yeah. Initially, I wasn't sure because we had so many different things about each other, but then eventually I thought, okay, let's see how it goes. And then it just fit. It really did fit. And then as we started going along, you know, then came engagement, and then we started making plans for our wedding. And we had set the date, you know, amongst other things, we were ready to get married in 2 months before we broke up. And, you know, the registry office was booked, the wedding dresses was bought, everything. I had bought everything for my wedding. And exactly to the day, 2 months before my wedding, I cut it off.
Wow. How long was you together?
2 years. 2 years. It was a
So
long time.
This is not somebody who, you know, you had a fling with.
No.
This is someone that you were serious about, someone that you were thinking about spending your whole life with this person. Now, you said that you broke it off. What makes you break it off? You know, he's perfect. Everything is going fine. You're in love.
In one day, in one moment, he slipped, he snapped, and that was it. On that day that he snapped, it's like he became someone I did not know at all. I did not know the person who I was engaged to. I'd never heard him shout before. On that day, he did.
When you mean he snapped, he became angry?
He basically flipped. Wow. He just flipped on one moment, and that was enough for me to just think, okay, if I've been here with you for almost 2 years, you've never flipped, and then you flipped today, why?
What else?
What else could you do?
Wow. Because, you know, people at home, I was just about to ask you, but you've answered my question already. People at home are probably wondering, weren't there any signs? Because someone who's, you know, calm and nice, as you explain, 2 years is quite a long time. Do you know what I mean? If you'd been together maybe 3 months and decided to marry, I'd say, well, that's not enough time. But 2 years is a long time for someone to be really nice.
I think sometimes it can go two ways. When they're too nice, you have to be careful because he was very nice, and I just thought, wow, his wife is so perfect. And I guess when I really look back, there were little signs of like he was a bit clingy, and I just, you know, it's like a flea. You want to push it off, but you think, oh no, maybe it's because he's really excited, he likes me. So the clinginess for me was just an off-put. But I thought, okay, maybe, you know, when we get married and everything and he's used to seeing me, then it's going to change. But it just got more and more like that. And then I kind of got used to it. I thought, okay, this is just how it's going to be. You know, I kind of settled. And like I said, on the moment where I decided to break up with him, I kind of saw something in him that I had seen in previous relationships. And when I saw that, I just said, I can't do this. I can't go through this again, basically, I can't.
I find that very brave, you know, very brave, and, you know, something to applaud someone to do that, because you could have, like, you've seen other things, you could have just thought, oh, maybe this is just one little thing, maybe he's nervous because of the wedding.
Most women do actually
they do that.
They kind of just...
But even if you broke it off, after, because you were getting ready to get married, you had your wedding dress. How was it after?
Okay, after it was a nightmare because he couldn't get over the fact that I was breaking up with him, and for him it was something so small, but for me it was something really big, and he just couldn't get over it. So it was like, kind of like, I don't know, like an obsession. He just kept on calling me, kept on coming to my house, he kept on talking to my friends, people who he didn't speak to, was trying to, you know, get information about me. And it just became obsessive. I felt like I was in a nightmare, that nightmare where someone's following you.
So he became too overprotective.
Yeah,
really?
After we broke up, it was like, I really began to see who he was, because he would follow me everywhere. And, you know, going to my mum's house, just turning up at my mum's house and things like that. And it was just horrible. And the thing is, because everybody knew him the way that I knew him initially, no one believed me. No one believed me. And when I was saying, you know, I'm getting calls, you know, he's threatening to kill me, all these things, no one believed me.
They're like him.
No one.
They think you're blowing it out of proportion.
I relate with what she's, because I was in that similar kind of situation, so I can relate to that, because normally they're very nice people. You know, nobody ever thinks that this person could ever do the wrong. And those are the ones that probably end up being the most scariest. Because I was in this same exact thing. And the person was so nice. And when we broke up, he just didn't accept. And that was the one who I told you that he threw paint all over my car. He just started to do some crazy things after we broke. He didn't accept.
I remember one time I was at work, and I work in an open plan office, and he took everything that I had ever given him, and he just pulled it on my desk. And still no one believed me. No one believed me. And I was at work and he tried to beat me up at work. You know, I had to you know, go back to work as though everything was fine.
Yeah.
And that happened all the time. Anytime I would see him, he would try to attack me, and it was I think I felt very alone, because no matter what I said and no matter what I did, no one believed me. And it was like it was me against this, you know, this whole drama. And I thought that I was making a very wise choice to let him go.
He was,
but
indeed.
he was making everyone see that it was a really bad choice that I made.
Like you were in the wrong.
That I was in the wrong. And, you know, he went to my close friends, he went to many people telling them things that didn't happen, but I didn't go around trying to, oh, look, it didn't happen like that.
Anything.
I really protected the fact that, because I thought, you know, everyone deserves the right to change. And even at that time when he would do that, I couldn't understand it. I didn't dog him out the same way he did with me. I didn't. I just thought.
But can I just say, Candice, because, you know, I don't know a lot of people who would get to the point of planning their wedding, you know, all the sort of financial implications and so on, and break up. You know, how did you pick yourself up after something so dramatic?
To be honest, it was really, really hard, because with a breakup, if anyone knows, you know, about a breakup, it's you always blame yourself, no matter what happens. Even if it was the person, you always blame yourself. And after I felt like, you know, I wasn't good enough, you know, maybe it was my fault, maybe the problem was with me. And in truth, there were so many things that happened, and I shouldn't have blamed myself, but I did. And I just wanted to be alone. I didn't, you know, for the whole relationship, I had isolated myself from all my friends. So I had to rebuild my friendships again and things like that. And, you know, it was really nice. I had really good friends who were there to support me, and my family really support me a lot. But at the same time, they can't be with you all the time. They're not with you when you go to bed and you remember the things that happened. And, you know, there were times where it was like hot and cold. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, he just deserves a new chance, like to just move on and a fresh start. But then there were other times I was really angry, like, why is he doing this to me? What did I ever do to him so wrong? You know, so it was so many mixed feelings.
A process, right?
And it was a process, because, to be honest, when I look back, there were a lot of things deep inside of me that I had not gotten over. Even a few months after, years after it happened, I didn't get over it. And the whole thought was that, would I ever be able to find somebody else? Would somebody accept me after they've heard all these crazy things that he said about me? So it was hard. And I think only when I went to the root of where, you know, what was going on deep inside of me, I was able to move on. Because I don't think you can just safely say, okay, we broke up, and you walk away. You know, you can be the strongest person, but even when you go through a breakup, however it ends, there's still something that you have to, there's still kind of damage that it does to you. So for me.
You mentioned something, the root of going to, you know, all that pain and so on. You mentioned before as well that, you know, you'd been through a previous relationship and you'd seen sort of patterns as well.
Yeah.
So did you have to go back to those roots as well and sort of see how this happened again?
To be honest with you, it was, I always settled. And that was, I found out I always settled, and I would like A, but I would always go for Z, because I thought, oh, maybe I couldn't get, you know, A.
So it was a thing about being not
like
valuing
your
yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
I
felt
didn't value myself.
I didn't value.
The first person who showed me the interest and treated me like a princess, although he was clingy, I thought, oh, wow, you know, and I just clung to it, and that's what I did with him. And I always thought, even from previous relationships, when I went back and found it, it was the value. I didn't think I had much value. I didn't think I could ever really get what I wanted. I thought it was just about, you know, getting what I think I could get. And that's where a lot of the problems came from. Of course, I don't think it's acceptable just because a person doesn't have value for violence. It's not an excuse. But sometimes, well, a lot of the time when you have low self-esteem, you accept anything and you just think it's okay. And that's what I did.
Wow.
I just accepted everything.
Well, I guess the positive out of this is that that relationship allowed you to look internally and to find those roots, because maybe you never would have. And I think every situation in life that we go through, it sort of enables us to look back and to sort of think, why did I get to this point? And that's exactly what you did. Yeah. Candice, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And now that you know better, we're sure that you're going to do better. Now you're going to make wiser choices because you know your value, which is wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Right, well, we're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, as promised, we're going to tell you the 10 things not to do after a breakup. Back soon.
Our old clubhouse was nothing more than a shed, really. We used to look forward to the away games. So the whole village got involved in building a new one, but it was slow going. Then the Mars people heard, said they'd like to help, which was brilliant. They even threw in a few Mars bars. Premiership, here we come.
Airwick's new generation of aerosols don't use artificial chemicals to release their fragrance. They are powered by 100% natural, fresh air to brighten your world with a fresher, cleaner fragrance experience. Something in the Airwick.
Every time you shave, it can damage your underarm skin. But Dove could help. With our unique 1/4 moisturising cream formula and vitamin E and F that actively helps skin recover in just 7 days. Beautiful underarms in just 7 days. Dove deodorant, effective protection for beautiful results.
We know your puppy will eat everything he shouldn't. So it's very important to feed him something he should. New Caesar Puppy contains all the vitamins and minerals your special little friend needs to grow up healthy, so you can love them back from the very beginning.
It took our scientists years to create a new, unique painkiller combination. Neuromal. We tested over 600 people who had had their wisdom teeth out. Ouch. Some regular painkillers worked quickly and faded after 5 hours. Others lasted longer. But Neuromal combined the best of both for strong and long-lasting relief. For many kinds of pain, ask at the pharmacy counter for new Neuromal.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much.
You can tell when he's on a quest, looking for something exciting and different. Sheba pouches, a whole variety of enticing, delicious recipes made with the finest ingredients. Go on, share the experience. Discover all the varieties of Sheba pouches.
Simple knows delicate skin is dried out by wind, sun, and everyday life. That's why you need Simple moisturizers with vitamin goodness. With no colour and no perfume, Simple's Kind to Skin moisturizers are the UK's #1. They keep working for 12 hours, leaving your skin soft and smooth. And now our new Simple Moisture Boost Mist gives you an instant boost, even over makeup. Simple. We believe in goodness.
The first time you discover Sillit Bang with bleach, you'll be amazed how easily it cleans. It flies through mildew stains for a brilliant shine. Wow! And powers through dirt with ease. You'll be so hooked, you'll want to go on and on. Sillit Bang with bleach, the power to wow.
Welcome back. So ladies, wasn't that really interesting what Candice was saying? It's amazing.
She mentioned about something to do with what she actually did to solve, to get to the root of her problem. And I thought that was very good, but that's a secret for now.
Yeah, well, I think what we'll do is we'll bring Candice on at the end and maybe she can tell everyone else what she did. Because it's true. Usually we deal with the surface and a lot of the time we don't go deeper. And she actually said, you know what, I had to go deeper. So we're going to be talking about those roots a little bit later on. So ladies, let's go back into it. 10 things not to do after a breakup? Because like Sam said, and she said, don't follow her, you don't assault the other woman.
No.
None of that. So ladies, what 10 things would you not do after a breakup?
I think one of the things that we should not do is isolate ourselves. It's actually something that Candice said, that, you know, she had to rebuild her friendships. And I think that is important, you know, for you not to be by yourself, for you to find a group of friends, your family, and, you know, just share whatever you are feeling with them.
Yeah.
So that you are not alone, because when you are alone, you just stay in the house, you cry, you put that song music there, you watch that movie, and
look at his
all
Facebook
that sadness.
page.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Oh my God, see who is he dating now? And that doesn't help. So don't be just you there. No, go out with your friends, go to the movies. Don't watch chick flicks movies, romantic ones. You know, do that kind of things.
But
you know?
also, don't jump into a rebound relationship as well. I think because, you know, a lot of women, they don't give themselves a chance to heal from the relationship.
That's very true.
Do you know what I mean? I think you really do need to give yourself, find yourself again, get back your health, your energy, you know, before you just jump into a relationship
And it's
again.
true, some people do that as a mechanism to try to get over.
And I
know a lot of women that do that. They just jump into another relationship to try to heal from the other one.
And I think it's unfair on the person.
You don't have time to heal.
No, to get over it. And it's important that you don't get addicted to things, because, you know, you'll feel like drinking, smoking, taking something to ease the pain, to forget what's happening. That's really important.
I did that. I started smoking a lot.
Really? To try to get over the pain of things. You know, you go into these things and you start to really overdo it. And it's very, very important that you don't get into an addiction at that time.
Because it just numbs the pain. It doesn't help
It
it.
does.
When it wears away and you've got the hangover, it's even worse.
Yes, it's just a temporary fix.
That's right. It doesn't solve anything.
I think another thing is not stalking your ex. Like me used to call,
like Mary Jo.
Like me as well.
Shireen. Did you just see that?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Shireen.
I think that's very important. And like we mentioned before, you know, go to his Facebook page, see everything he's doing, follow him around. Try to find, you know, because you know him and you know places where he used to go before. So you casually jump into him just like that. You know?
Looking amazing.
Looking amazing. No. I don't think that's... You should just break it off completely.
Do you know what I don't like? I don't like when women publicise the breakup. You know, like on social media and things like that. Do you know what I mean? On Facebook, and they want to you know, speak about
or they
it.
send an email.
You know, put the person down.
I got that one time.
An email
to all her friends. There was a lady, there was a girl, I didn't really know that, but she sent an email to all the ladies, all the friends of him and her, saying that they've broken up. So please don't talk to me about it.
Yeah, don't slander him. Don't go to his boss and say what a terrible person he is. He's stealing from the company, because I know someone that did that. Don't do stuff like that.
And you know what? It's really important, but it's so hard. Is to not obsess over him. You know, stop thinking about him. And I can say that because it's really, really hard, especially when you've been in a relationship for a long time. It's always been about you and the person. But you know what I realised also when I had my relationship was that how much I just spent all my time with him only, and I didn't build those relationships. So, you know, it's important that you do get out and don't be thinking about him. Don't be looking at old photos. It's over. Be tough with yourself. Close the chapter. Move on.
Keep all your pictures and all things like
that.
that.
Get rid of it.
That's so very hard, you know.
Very hard, but it's the first step to healing. You have to get rid of, you know, if you don't have the photo anymore, then you've got less things less eye candy, less things to think about. But when you have that photo that you keep looking at, kissing, and that music,
it's making the process of healing so much longer.
It is. You've got to be tough.
But it's very hard.
It is, because I'm just saying, like, we're literally racing through everyone because you know we know that time is against us. But the truth is, it's really difficult. It's really hard.
And Gemma,
to tear that
change
picture up.
is difficult. So I'm telling you.
But you know,
you got to be. Sometimes you've got to be radical because this is about you at the end of the day. And that person is getting on with life, and he's been radical about his breakup with you, and he's not thinking about your broken heart. I think so. You need to crack on, and you need to be tough. That's the truth.
Wow, she's been really tough.
I speak from experience.
But you know, I think sometimes one of the problems that women, many of us have, is that we obsess over that, and we forget about ourselves. I think one important thing is to invest in us again, because when you are in a relationship, you do invest in yourself, but you invest a lot in that relationship, and you sometimes forget about yourself.
So true.
So investing in yourself is very important. Maybe there is this course that you always wanted to do, go for it. Maybe a makeover. A makeover, it's very, very good. Go for a holiday. You know, do something that maybe you were never able to do because you were in that relationship and you always wanted to do. That's the right time to do it.
Yeah. But, you know, going back to Shireen's point, because, you know, it is really tough. Because I don't want people just to see us here saying, get over it, move on. No. Because someone said that to me after a breakup once. And I remember I just kept a grudge against her because I thought, you've never been through what I've been through. How can you just tell me to move? Do you know what I mean? To get over it and move on. But I know that you're right. But it's so, so difficult. It really is hard. And, you know, maybe sometimes you do need some time to just sort of grieve over that relationship.
I think it's a process.
But
It is a process. Because I think you need time to grieve over it and you say, okay, it is over, I got it. And then just to give yourself time, not to expect too much from yourself. Do you know what I mean? Because in the same way, you know, we're saying move on and tear the pictures up and all that stuff. If you're with that person for like 2 or 3 years, or like say maybe like Candice, you're building your whole life with this person. That's your plan to build your future, to get married. You need time to sort of grieve and to think, okay, do you know what, it's over, and to allow yourself to go through those emotions and then move on.
But it's a process. It's like we are giving 10 steps. It's not for all the 10 steps to be done at the same time. It is a process. You will do one thing at a time, you know, and you have to rebuild your self-esteem. Like, for example, Candice, her self-esteem was really low after the breakup. So you have to build it up, you know. And this is like little tips that will help you do it, because all of us
this is very true. And some things can, like what Gemma was saying about grudges can lead to something else. Just like a grudge, if you keep that grudge, that's what can lead to the revenge. And the revenge, you'll end up doing something that is unhealthy for yourself, for the person, which could lead to, you know, really hurting someone. So it's like you really have to take a step where you have to kind of cut, move on, and not, you know, remain with that pain. Because I mean, I'm the first one to speak. Don't do revenge. Because there's no results. You end up being the one in pain.
I mean, you can't be self-destructive. You can't let that relationship make you into a monster. That breakup make you into a monster. Because I remember when I broke up, I wanted to see the other person dead. Who would have thought that I would ever have that kind of thought? But I thought, if I hear that he's dead, I'll feel better. And that's what I used to think. And that's not the kind of person I am.
Imagine that damaging people's property. I mean, I was so hurt when I broke with my partner, and he just started to damage my property. You know, windows broken, car. You know, it's a really horrible thing to experience something like that.
It really is.
And I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
No. But in the breakup, you need to, I think it's a good time for you to examine yourself and really build upon yourself and get yourself a life, you know, do better for yourself, learn from that experience, learn from, you know, look at that as just a learning curve. I've learned a lot in that relationship of how I don't want my future partner to be like, and I'm going to take things to add to myself now, because I think that's very, very important. What can I learn from how this relationship went wrong that's going to better me? What kind of qualities has come out about my character that I didn't even know, that through this breakup, it's revealing, it's like a mirror. So I take those horrible things that you're finding about yourself and turn them around and say, do you know what? I'm not going to be this kind of woman. Add to yourself. Don't be on self-destruct mode.
That's right.
But better yourself through the breakup. Take those bad things and turn them into positive, and you're going to be a stronger woman, and you're going to know more about your potential as well.
Especially when there is a pattern. If there is a pattern in your relationships, and there is always like this breakup, so there might be reasons for that. And sometimes we think it might be just on the other person, but maybe some of the reasons are on us. So it's a time for you to think as well, to reflect, to, you know, better yourself. I think it's a time as well for you to better yourself. Like Sam said, don't run to a next relationship. You know, better yourself, heal, take, you know, learn from it, and then move on.
Look, there's nothing wrong with getting support from other people, friends, family. You know, things like that, seek advice. If you're feeling so broken and so hurt, there's nothing wrong with getting help and speaking about it, you know, to get over it. Because sometimes we do need a little help and support.
I agree.
Well, there we have it. Obsessions, revenge, grudges, all things not to do after a breakup. But I think Shireen's is my favourite one. Don't fail to get a life. Let's go to a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking more about this. Back soon.
So much more than I was wishing for. It's simply wonderful. Simply wonderful.
Want an amazing way to treat dry, irritated eyes without drops? Help restore their natural moisture balance with Optrex Actimist Eye Spray.
Dettol believes healthy homes are happy homes. That's why we've created the no-touch hand wash system. It automatically dispenses soap that kills 99.9% of bacteria. With Dettol, a healthy hand washing routine is automatic, all over your home. For healthy tips and more, visit dettol.co.uk/missionforhealth.
A plaster for mouth ulcers? Discover new Bonjela Complete Plus, an advanced complete treatment that forms a protective layer, like a plaster, soothes pain, aids healing, and lasts for up to 4 hours. Bonjela Complete Plus, our most complete treatment ever.
Let's face it, everyone who uses your loo is secretly judging it. So don't let your Rimblock's germy cage lower your score. For up to 1,000 flushes, Harpic Hygienic helps keep your loo smelling fresh and looking like new. Harpic Hygienic, like a new loo every time.
No two stains are the same, but they're all washed in the same way, which can leave dishes dirty. New Finish Quantum has unique cleansing microbeads that target even the toughest stains, leaving a flawless shine. Try Quantum with targeted cleaning. Finish the diamond standard. Test it for yourself. Take the Quantum Challenge. See the difference, or it's free.
With every wash, more and more limescale attacks your machine, which can ultimately lead to a breakdown. Use Calgon Gel in every wash. Its fast-acting formula works on all your machine's vital parts, protecting them from the damage of limescale to keep your machine working at its best. And a cleaner washing machine means better results. Leading brands recommend Calgon.
Washing machines live longer with Calgon.
Our old clubhouse was nothing more than a shed, really. We used to look forward to the away games. So the whole village got involved in building a new one, but it was slow going. Then the Mars people heard, said they'd like to help, which was brilliant. They even threw in a few Mars bars. Premiership, here we come.
Airwick's new generation of aerosols don't use artificial chemicals to release their fragrance. They are powered by 100% natural, fresh air to brighten your world with a fresher, cleaner fragrance experience. Something in the Airwick.
Every time you shave, it can damage your underarm skin. But Dove could help. With our unique 1/4 moisturising cream formula and vitamin E and F that actively helps skin recover in just 7 days. Beautiful underarms in just 7 days. Dove deodorant, effective protection for beautiful results.
Welcome back. Well, we went to our Facebook page and we asked some people how they felt after a breakup, and we got some comments. And of course, if you're on Facebook, you can follow us, A Different Kind of Woman. Nameen said, I went to the guy's house and cried like a baby. It was very sad and a dramatic scene. Poor thing, I can relate to that a little bit. Yeah. Shandy said, I grieved like he had just died. It affected all other relationships. I didn't want to hear his name for 5 years. He was my first proper boyfriend. You know, Mary Jo said something like that as well about her first crush, and I think there is something about your first love. You know, the first cut is the deepest, and that's what they say, right? And it's just something about that. But ladies, before the break, we said, you know, 10 things not to do before a breakup. So we spoke about revenge. We said don't go to social networks and slander his name and all this stuff. So now, if someone doesn't do that, or if they've done it, maybe you've done it already, or if they're going through a breakup, what can they do to really get out of it? Because what can you do?
You know, there is positive sides to it as well, Jem. You can actually learn from your breakups, because that's what I had to do. I had to also, because with breakups, it's not always the other person.
Yeah, indeed.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you do have to stop it. I had to stop and look into myself. Although, yes, he did do the dirt, but I still had to look at myself and see where I fell short and mistakes I made in the relationship as well. And I was able to learn from those mistakes so that I didn't, you know, do them in my future relationships. So you can kind of identify your weaknesses, the things what you didn't do so well in that relationship, and bring a more positive actions to your new relationship.
That's a good point, you know, Sam, because sometimes people only pine away and think, I'm in so much pain, and you blame it on the other person.
Yeah.
But they never learn from, like, okay, what can I learn?
Because we're not perfect. So you've got to have some kind of contribution to that breakup.
Yeah.
And although he did wrong, and you know, but there was points where I did wrong. I identified things that I did wrong.
Yeah. And it's important. You know, Candice said something that is so true about the signs that you see in a relationship. You know why you've got that relationship? There's some signs sometimes that you see that are just not quite right, but you look over them. But why? You've got to think to yourself, you know, after the breakup happens, you should look back and reflect. So I had to do. And say, why did I just let that sign go? Why did I lower my standard? Or is it because I didn't have a standard? You know, it's because he was my first relationship, the one that made me feel so good. He made me feel so good that I didn't even look at the fact that he was a bit aggressive here and he was a bit dominant here. And actually, towards the end of the relationship, that's why it didn't work, because that other side of him, which I thought was just small detail, became the massive detail. So again, what is it about me? Why did I allow that? It's the time of reflection. Why did you allow that in a relationship? Why did you not cut it off? Why did you not say, this is something about you that I don't actually agree with? Maybe I could have changed that.
And learn to value yourself much more.
To value myself.
Much more.
Do you know what I think about that? You know, I find this whole thing about roots that Candice mentioned really interesting, because when you said that, I thought, hold on a minute, that's fear. Maybe it was fear that no one else would want you.
Exactly.
Or fear that you wouldn't find anybody else.
Exactly.
And where does that come from? Because we don't just sort of, we're not born with fear. We don't sort of grow up and think, you know what, actually no one's ever going to want me. It comes from somewhere.
Do you know what? There's so much about it, Gemma, because, you know, you do think like that. I think a lot of women these days, they're afraid to be alone, and they don't want to be by themselves. So if they find someone that's halfway decent, they'll hold on to that person. Then they'll just say, you know what, at least I've got one. Let me just try to invest in this one. May not be the kind of guy I really, really want, and he may treat me like this, that, and the other, but I will hold on to that person because I don't want to be by myself. What is it about being by yourself that's such a problem, you know, for us women? Or is it because we're in a rat race? You know, we know there's so many people that are more beautiful, more this, more that. If I get someone who just accepts me for me, let me just hold on.
Sometimes can come even from childhood. You know, like, for an example, a child that has always had maybe, you know, parents saying, you're not so brilliant, or you're not so done so well as a child. So your parents is constantly telling you something negative like that. And the person tends to grow up with that lack of that lack of self-esteem, that lack of confidence within themselves. Do you know what I mean? And they take that into the relationship. Now, Candice was speaking about roots. She obviously went to some roots, and she must have identified what was allowing her to have such a self-esteem, why she didn't value herself. Do you know what I mean? And why she was able to allow this person to latch onto her and for her to accept it. Do you know what I mean? And I think once she found the roots and found the confidence, then and then only when she found the roots, she was able to probably accept and move on.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because actually as you were speaking, I was thinking about my own life. And I was thinking, because, and I've said it on the show before, because my real dad, he committed suicide, I wasn't able to know that person. But in a woman's life, that's the first man that you ever know.
Exactly.
And I think that for a lot of women nowadays, we had Father's Day last week and we spoke about fathers, but there are a lot of absent fathers. And in a woman's life, the dad is so pivotal. And if you don't have that relationship, a lot of the time you spend your whole teenage years and your early 20s, sometimes your 30s, sometimes your 40s, 50s, just looking for that person who is your dad.
Yeah,
do you see what I mean?
I really
that
agree with you.
Always roots.
It's because you would compare whoever you're going to be with. You'll compare them to your father,
Exactly.
or you have your father say, "That one, I'm not sure about that one." You know, someone to have those standards for you. That's really, really important. If you don't have them, what happens for a young woman? You start looking at them in the superstars, the movies, the pop stars. So if he's nice to me like he's in the movies, that's what happened to Candice, isn't it? He was all nice, shiny, wonderful, and that was enough for her, because probably she learned that was something that secretly she learned from the movies, the magazines, from media, from what media teaches you. But the core things were not there, but she wasn't looking for those core things, because that's not what was taught to her.
Yeah. Now, Shireen and Sam, I'll go to Shireen first and I'll go to Sam. You guys overcame big breakups.
Yes.
Shireen, what did you do to overcome it?
Do you know why I'm so harsh about this? It's because I really had to just be really strict with myself and say, get over it. You know, someone said that to me. Someone said those 3 words, and I was also very upset when they told me those words. But when I went home and I started thinking about it, I thought, yeah, that's right. I need to get over this. Is my life going to stop? Is my life really going to stop because of this person? No way. I'm going to use all my anger, all my tears, every pain I feel to turn myself into a better person. And at first, you use it to say, if he sees me, he's going to see that I'm not even caring about him.
Yeah.
But as time goes by, you do develop a confidence that you don't normally, you would not, I never even knew I had. And I did really start investing in my relationships. I started to go on holiday, things I wouldn't normally do because I was always with that person. And I realised that was a route I had to find. It was very important what you said, Sam, that I was always latching onto him. I didn't have anyone else. It was just me and him all the time. Why was that? Because I thought I couldn't be without him. So I had to show myself that I can be without him. I can be myself. I can be by myself. I can love myself as an individual. I can stay alone and enjoy who I am and find out who I was. But while I was with him, I didn't need to concentrate on myself. I didn't need to think about myself. I didn't have to see the issues I had about myself because I was so busy thinking of him that I didn't know myself. And that is why when he left, I thought my whole world ended because I didn't know who I was. And I realised that, and I started to turn that around.
And there's so much you can do, you know, like you said, you can go on holiday, you can study, you know, you can go after goals, you can travel the world.
This is the UK. It is the UK. You've got endless possibilities.
Endless possibilities.
You know, endless, so much you can do.
Yeah, definitely. Sam, what did you do?
There's quite a few things I did. One of the things that I did was really working on myself, not allowing myself to go down, as in taking care even more of. I've always taken care of myself, but even more so as in investing in like the work that I was doing, the clothes that I was wearing, fixing myself to make myself look more beautiful, to keep that confidence. But one of the things that really, really helped me, Gemma, I had to go and it was actually my sister. And she could see that I was so brokenhearted, and she invited me to go to a help centre. And through this, I was able to seek get advice, one-to-one advice. Now, that's why I was saying earlier, sometimes you may need to seek one-to-one advice. And I was able to get that kind of support that helped me to look on the problems of the relationship and why it had broken down. And it helped me to build back up my self-esteem. So that was a great help for me in that period of my life. And I was in Birmingham at the time. And it was great. It was great help.
And we can see you're much stronger for it.
Yeah. And I often tell many women who I counsel now, I often give them the same kind of advice. You know, go to the help centre, get kind of supports that I got.
Thanks, Sam. Well, we've swapped seats, so we're playing a trick on you. And we've actually got Candice back here. Because Candice, you were telling us something really interesting in the break. When you came on, you said that you had to get to the root of it all, and actually you sort of steered our whole conversation towards that. But what exactly did you do to overcome it completely?
One of the first things I've done Shireen was saying, I just got over it. I had to put that in my mind. I just need to get over it. But to be honest, it didn't happen by me just being around friends, and it just didn't happen like that. It was by me going through like digging inside of myself, and I learned that through going to, there was like a women's meeting in my local area, and I learned from that meeting to know my value, know who I am. And the problem was, you know, like you were all saying, you focus so much on the other person, and really it's because you have issues as well. And I wasn't going deep inside of myself and finding out, you know, about who I really was. And when I did go to the meeting, it was like, literally there was no one else there, it was just me. And although there were many women, it was just me. And it was just one-on-one, and I was having a one-on-one, and they were teaching me things that I needed to do inside of myself to go deep, to find out who I was, to let go of the, you know, the filth that was inside of me, thinking that I was ugly, thinking that I didn't have what it takes. And, you know, I'm really happy also, you know, we are going to be having another meeting, you know, coming up soon on the 30th.
Wow.
And
next week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be...
oh, that's just around the corner, next week.
Soon. And to be honest, I think it's such a great opportunity for any women, even if they did go through a breakup or not. It's an opportunity for them to just go and, you know, find out something about themselves.
But can any woman just attend this meeting?
Yeah, and that's what I liked about it. It's not, you know, it's not restricted in any way. Anyone can just walk in.
Is it free?
It's free.
And you don't, I'm supposing you don't have to have gone through a breakup or anything.
No,
it can
it could be anything.
You know, just you as a woman and you want that, you know, gathering. I think that's really nice.
Wow, that sounds amazing, amazing.
Can we come? Can we come?
Sam is getting us into all kinds of
I love
events
anything to do with women's events.
Yeah.
I absolutely love, because I've learnt a lot from many women events.
Yeah.
And I wherever they are, I find myself there.
It's so true, because sometimes you think that you're the only one that's going through the problem.
Yeah.
And so when you go through this kind of these kind of events, you realise that you're not alone. Like, oh my days, I'm not the only one that wants to, you know, do this and the other.
Well, just for people who are watching this and they don't really know, they can also go to your website.
I was going to say, is there a website?
Okay. It's on the website. It's also on Facebook as well, so they can go and find out about the event.
So we'll put those details up.
Oh,
them.
brilliant.
Okay,
I'm coming.
Fantastic. So if you want to know how to participate in these free women's meetings that help Candice so much, then you can visit our website, dkw.me, and we'll put all the details there. And of course, if you want any advice from any of us, maybe you've been going through something that Sam went through, and you want to speak to her personally and say, you know what, Sam, I can identify. Or maybe like Shireen, maybe your husband's just left you and you don't know what to do. Well, she went through it and she came out the other side. Or maybe like MJ, you've been calling your ex and he's not answering the phone. But you know, at the end of the day, what we want to say to you guys is that you can overcome it.
That's
So if we have overcome it, definitely.
Definitely.
Right? So if you want our advice, then email us at comments@dkw.me. No problem is too big, and we love to hear from you guys. Well, I think the only thing I can conclude, which we've talked about the whole show, is roots, right?
Yeah.
If you understand your past, then you can change your future. And I'll leave you with that thought. That's DKW for today. We'll be back next week. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
This one's for the girls.